members of Parliament, support staff, radio listeners, TV viewers, all following this meeting via social media, guests in the public tribune, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I welcome you to the continuation of public meeting number 16 for today, Thursday, August 14th, 2025. At this time, I also want to give a special welcome to the Minister of Public Health, Social Development and Labour, the Honourable Mr. Richnel Brugge, and his entire support staff here this afternoon. We have established a quorum of 9 members, and I invite you to stand for a moment of silence. Thank you. I have received notice of absence from the member Waiver, MP Waiver. I have received notice of lateness from the member Peterson. And at this time, I ask if any member of Parliament present has a notification. I see MP Duran requesting such. MP Duran, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady. Good afternoon to you, my honorable colleagues. Welcome to the Minister and his support staff, and a special good afternoon to the people of St. Martin. Madam Chair Lady, one thing is for sure, I woke up this morning and I read an article from the board of GB, and now I'm more confused than ever in terms of who is telling the truth. We heard a story from the Prime Minister, now we got the other half of the story. Yesterday, our faction, as well as 2 other factions on this side of the aisle, requested an urgent public meeting, and based on chapter 9 of the Rules of Order, Article 33, subsection 5, an urgent public meeting should be called within 4 times 24 hours. Madam Chair Lady, I'm appealing to you on behalf of the people of St. Martin to take this matter seriously, and please consider this an urgent meeting, as I believe the people have the right to know. Thank you very much, and I hope we could have this meeting by Monday next week. Thank you.
Thank you, MP Duran, for your notification. The next MP to make use of the notifications is MP Lewis, to whom I give the floor at this time.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Good afternoon to the Honourable Minister of VSR and your support team. Good afternoon to those in the Tribune and my honourable colleagues here in Parliament, and to the people of St. Martin. Madam Chair, coincidentally, we have the Minister of VSR today. Just as I was walking in, I was approached by some taxi drivers and pedestrians who basically are being attacked. Mental health is really a crisis here, Minister, and we have individuals with mental health issues in Phillipsburg. I do not know what type of outreach we can come with, Madam Chair, but this individual is an aggressive one. I was explained that when the police also came on the scene, they tell them they cannot do anything about it because the gentleman has mental health issues. And the taxi driver also showed me how he was bitten by this individual that walks around in town. He's well known, being in town, the skinny, dark gentleman with beards and a lot of clothes and stuff hanging. We have to do something, Madam Chair. I also understood that he ran down a tourist some days ago. We have to do something about this, Madam Chair, and I hope this message is clear and that something be done via the relevant stakeholders. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Lewis, for that notification. The next MP to make use of notifications is MP Lacroes. MP Lacroes, you have the floor.
A blessed afternoon, Madam Chair Lady Griffier, Minister, and a full house, your support staff, those in the Tribune, and my fellow colleagues, those listening on social media. Madam Chair Lady, on behalf of the United People's Party, I would like to echo the sentiments of MP Duran concerning the urgent meeting, the letter that was submitted yesterday, to deal with this GB saga that is now a little too long and too stressful for the people of St. Martin. Thank you, Madam Chair Lady.
Thank you, MP Lacroes, for your notification. I don't see any other notice for notification, and thus we can continue with the agenda point for this public meeting. And that agenda point is deliberations with the Minister of Public Health, Social Development and Labour regarding recent developments in mental health care on St. Martin. This document is registered at Parliament on the IS 630, and it is dated February the 20th of this year. It's a meeting that was requested by the members Ottley, Lacroes, and York. As I mentioned, it was on February the 20th that Parliament received this request from the members mentioned, and the request entailed that a public meeting of Parliament be convened to discuss the above-mentioned agenda point. The presence of the Minister of Public Health, Social Development, and Labour was also requested. The meeting was first convened on May 7, 2025, during which the first agenda point number 1, was closed. At the handling of agenda point number 2, the Minister of Public Health, Social Development, and Labour gave a presentation on the subject. And thereafter, in accordance with the speakers list, members of Parliament were given the opportunity to pose questions to the Minister in the first round. The meeting was then adjourned to allow the Minister the time to prepare the answers to the questions posed by members of Parliament. The meeting was reconvened on May 22nd, where the Minister returned with the answers to the questions posed by the members of Parliament in the first round. The meeting was then adjourned after a number of clarification requests from the members of Parliament. So the Minister has returned today to offer clarifications on the matters raised by members of Parliament during the first round. And just before I give the floor to the Minister, I just want to remind everyone, our members of Parliament included, that the possibility is there to make use of the interruption lectern under the usual criteria of it being that one seeks clarification, challenge assertions, or contribute additional information to the topic at hand. So with that brief reminder, and by the way, the members have received the list of those persons who already started to make use of the interruptions. As you know, the total amount of interruptions per agenda point is 3 per member. So now I give the floor to the Minister of Public Health, Social Development and Labour, Mr. Reginald Brugge, for his opening remarks and to address the clarifications sought by members of Parliament. Minister, you have the floor.
Blessings. Okay, it's good? All right. Blessings to the people of St. Martin. Good afternoon to the members of Parliament, to my support staff, those listening via media, those also in the Tribune. Madam Chair Lady, as you indicated, I am here today to answer the clarification questions posed by several members of Parliament. I will immediately start by answering the question posed by the Honourable Member, MP O.E.C. Question 1. When would mental health support for teachers and students take place? Is there a budget for this? Is it budgeted for 2025? What is the timeline? How will this be executed? Response. Yes, an annual allocation of €20,000 has been secured from the TWO projects for the years 2025 through 2027. This funding is intended to support training initiatives which also extend to include educators. Further planning and coordination are necessary to ensure the effective implementation of the mental health support training program. Question 2. What subsidies are in place to support housing for individuals with mental health challenges? When is housing support expected to be implemented? The budget includes no housing subsidies or plans for one. Where is this addressed within the ministry's outline? Where are the relevant policy detailed in the budget? Response. Currently, no subsidies of this nature are offered by the Ministry of VSA, other than what is provided through the AVBZ Fund for Guided Living by the White and Yellow Cross. The implementation of the housing subsidy requires careful planning and adequate budgetary provision. As such, the ministry provided input to VROMI on the housing policy that they are currently drafting. Question 3. Who are you developing clinical guidelines with? Response. The clinical guidelines will be developed in collaboration with and for family physicians and mental health care providers. This initiative forms an integral part of improving mental health services delivery. Question 4, regarding telehealth. It was mentioned that what is needed is an integrated, science-based strategy for implementing these services to ensure that patients' rights are upheld. Has the science-based strategy and associated legislative process begun? Madam Chair Lady, this question was also posed by the Honourable Member of Parliament, Ottley. Through you, I would like to request permission to answer both MPs at this time. Response. No, it has not yet commenced. However, it is important to note that the elements of telemedicine are already being utilized within the mental health sector. For example, online consultation and online assessments. Question 5. How can Mental Health Foundation have the ability to take on more individuals after a hurricane? Response. What was mentioned is that with the finalization of the National Mental Health Strategic Plan and the completion of the new mental health facility funded through the Trust Fund, the crisis response capacity will be improved and increased. Question 6. Madam Chair Lady, there were 4 questions from MP Ottley, 2 from MP York, and 3 from MP Irion, all concerning 1, the master schedule and access to the master schedule, 2, communication within government and with NRPB, 3, the consultant's engagement and its purpose. Madam Chair Lady, through you, I would like to address these questions collectively. As the time elapsed since the previous parliamentary meeting has resulted in development in the situation. Concerning number 1, the master schedule and access to the master schedule. The draft master schedule is currently in my possession, and I, as Minister, am actively engaging with the relevant stakeholders to review and refine it. The draft master schedule has been provided by NRPB, which in collaboration with VSA has been updated. As with any complex initiative, there are several interconnected components that requires thorough analysis and thoughtful consideration. Once all elements of the project, particularly the various phases, have been finalized, we will be in position to provide more comprehensive and transparent update to the public. Concerning number 2, communication with government and with NRPB regarding access to the master schedule. The communication with NRPB has improved, and we continue to work on it. Since we now have access to the master schedule, this question is no longer relevant. Concern number 3, consultants' engagement and its purpose. A qualified technical expert with experience in project management of this nature is being recruited to support the upcoming phases of the mental health project currently managed by NRPB. The expert's primary responsibilities will include monitoring the execution of the construction of the new mental health facilities and provide timely advice on the financial and technical aspects of the project. The role will focus on project monitoring and oversight, feasibility analysis, risk management, and ensuring the timely delivery of key project deliverables. Given the comprehensive nature of this mental health project, which includes legislation, policy, training, and construction, different technical consultants have been engaged to address the various components. Once the recruitment process is finalized, the ministry will have in place both technical assistance for the soft element, such as policy and training, and the hard element, such as construction. The recruitment of technical assistance, specifically for monitoring the construction phase of the mental health facility, is still pending. Question 7. When did the process of updating the function book begin? Who is taking lead of this initiative? And when can we expect to receive the final draft? As it relates to VSR, this process was initiated prior to my time in office, with the latest update up to June 2024. After being sworn in as minister, the ministry picked up this process again. We expect a draft to be finalized by 2025. Question 8. Is event planning tool scheduled to be implemented in 2026? Once completed in time, yes. Question 9. Can you confirm whether any of the 30 new hires will be placed within the Ministry of VSR? 10 applicants were found eligible for positions within the Ministry of VSR. Since then, interviews have taken place, and 2 of these applicants are currently in the negotiation phase. Question number 10. Funds for mental health were earmarked and paid out. How much was paid out? And what is the balance? Could the minister clarify what went wrong in the signing off process of this advice? Additionally, who was responsible for signing it? Madam Chair Lady, this question was also posed by the Honourable Member of Parliament York. Through you, I would like to request permission to answer both MPs at this time. After the funds were approved through Budget Amendment 2024, there was an interministerial miscommunication as to the follow-up to the processing of payment. I can report now the 1.3 million guilders for 2024 has been totally paid out. The 1.2 million guilders that are still pending will be paid out soon. The current delay had to do with the approval of the budget of 2025. Those were all the questions posed by the Honourable Member of Parliament, Irian. I will now continue with question posed by the Honourable Member of Parliament, York. Question 1. What is a community-based approach? This means reducing stigma, promoting early support, and helping people stay connected to their community. For example, neighborhood outreach, training local volunteers to offer support and refer people to services. Example 2, school programs, equip teachers to spot early signs of distress and provide support. Example 3, faith-based support, partner with churches to create a safe, judgment-free space. Example 4, workplace wellness, encourage stress management and access to counseling at work. Example 5, community centers, host mental wellness days with group talk and basic counseling. The goal is to support people where they are, involve the whole community, and act early. Question 2, when will the National Strategic Health Plan be ready? How far is it currently? Is the draft ready? And has the minister read it or preview any content of what is to come? Madam Chairlady, this question was also posed by the Honourable Member of Parliament, Ms. Veronica Janssen-Webster. Through you, I would like to request permission to also answer both MPs at this time. Response. The draft mental health strategic plan will be shared with the major stakeholders in 2 weeks and discussed during the scheduled soundboard in October. Once all input has been incorporated, the draft plan will be submitted for approval and further dissemination. Question 3, regarding the monitoring and evaluation framework intended to track the performance and quality of mental health services. Could you please provide an update on when this framework is expected to be finalized and made available for implementation? The 10-year multiple annual strategic plan has not yet been presented to stakeholders for their final input and review. Therefore, an exact date for this process cannot be provided at this time. Once the strategic plan is approved, an implementation plan will follow. However, this framework is an important part of the plan. Question 4, does Turning Point Foundation receive any subsidy from the Ministry of E.C.? If not, will that be in the 2025 or 2026 budget? Madam Chairlady, through you, I would like to make it clear that at this present moment in time, the Turning Point Foundation does not receive any subsidy from the Ministry of E.C., nor was it budgeted in the 2025 budget. We are currently looking into ways of collaboration moving forward. Question 5. Thrimbus is acquiring data from Turning Point. Can it be clarified on what kind of data? Madam Chairlady, the data will include, among other details, information on age, gender, reason of admission, duration of stay, compliance with treatment, and waiting lists, among other things. Question 6. How many mental health projects did the ministry, how many mental health projects did the minister alluded to in his presentation? What were the dates of these projects? Madam Chairlady, this question was also posed by the Honourable Member of Parliament, Ottley. Through you, I would like to request permission to answer both MPs at this time. There were 17 projects alluded to in my presentation, and these projects are Men's Circle, a VSI-led initiative in December 2024, Men's Health Psychological Assessment Quick Scan, December 2024, Personnel and Organization Quick Scan, December 2024. 4, Suicide Prevention Sessions in collaboration with Victorious Living Foundation, Dr. Cotton, January 2025. Partnership with Men's Mental Health Awareness Foundation, February 2025. 6, Mental Health Soundboard Session, Trimbus on Mental Health, February 2025. 7, Autism Awareness Symposium, organized by Spectrum Support Box, April 2025. VSI Sports Day, February 2025. Mental health sessions for management team, January and April 2025. VSI COVID-19 Appreciation Day, March 2025. Creating a VSI recreation, recovery and lounge area, ongoing project. Immediate psychological support for VSI staff, April 2025. Online workshop entitled Parenting Through Challenges in Mental Health and Raising Children with Disabilities in collaboration with the Spectrum Support Box, May 2025. Workshop entitled When to Ring the Bell, Supporting Youth Mental Health, May 2025. Interscholastic Spoken Words Competition, organized by Men's Mental Health Awareness Foundation, May 2025. Informative mental health videos, focus group youth, ongoing projects. And last, new songboard sessions with Trimbus on mental health, coming August and September 2025. Those were all the questions posed by the Honourable Member of Parliament, MP York. I will now move over to questions posed by the Honourable Member of Parliament, MP Ottley. Question 1. Are all plans related to Trimbus, or is the ministry also developing separate plans regarding mental health? What is the timeline for these initiatives? Could you provide a specific date by which all plans from Trimbus will be delivered? Was Trimbus selected through a competitive bidding process? How much is the company being paid? And what was the selection criteria? Madam Chairlady, while Trimbus plays a key role under the mental health project, the ministry is also involved in developing additional mental health initiatives, including those with a focus on youth at a cabinet level. Trimbus was selected through a direct procurement process in accordance with applicable procurement regulations and with the approval of the World Bank. This selection was based on their unique qualifications as a World Health Organization collaborating center and their recognized expertise in Dutch and international mental health systems. The contract is valued at $2,776,000 with a duration of 30 months starting January 2025, and all deliverables are due by June 2027. Key deliverables include 1, a strategic plan for mental health sector. 2, training plans for stakeholders. 3, updated mental health screening tools. These deliverables are being developed in close collaboration with the ministry's counterparts to ensure alignment with the national priorities. Question 2, when will staff training start? How will it begin? What progress was made with the staff training? What is the timeline? Madam Chairlady, through you, the response. The first set of training sessions were held on May 21st, 22nd, and 26th, 2025. A second round of training is planned for the third quarter of this year. An assessment will be conducted to measure the progress. The time frame will depend on the progress made, with the aim of completion by the end of 2026. Question 3. The minister stated that mental health provisions will be included in the SAHA. When will the SAHA be expected? When will the SAHA be expected? Will the minister include any additional changes, such as addiction, to the SAHA? Because the timeline has been pushed back. Or will it be brought as is? Response. What I can confirm is that we expect to receive the advice from the SER in the coming weeks. Access to the mental health care is fully covered under the proposed care package of the SAHA. This includes reimbursement of psychiatrics at the current level with other medical specialists, as well as coverage for psychiatric admission. Psychological care is also included, with coverage for up to 12 sessions within a 24-month period for the same indication. Forensic mental health care is intended to fall under the responsibility of the Ministry of Justice. Question 4. What is the minister and ministry's plan pertaining to youth mental health? As many of you may have seen, we recently launched 2 social media videos featuring local icon King James, aimed specifically to encourage our youth to speak openly about their mental health and the dangers of vaping. There are a few more initiatives to roll out in the 3rd quarter. In addition, the ministry is currently engaged in discussions with the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports, with the latest meeting being held on August 12th. I am also aware that both Education, Culture, Youth and Sport and Turning Point Foundation are actively running their own campaign focused on mental health and substance abuse. Question 5. What were the results of these talks regarding youth? What were the results of these talks regarding youth mental health with the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sport? And what are the plans and what are the timeline? With upcoming events, what were the steps specifically taken with the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sport to move forward? I was provided an overview of the policies and procedures as it relates to the handling of mental health-related issues in schools and with students. The Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sport will be included in proposed training for stakeholders of the education sector. As mentioned earlier, the last meeting took place on August 12th, and we intend to continue the dialogue moving forward to roll out events throughout this upcoming school year. Madam Chair Lady, that was the end of all the questions posed by the different MPs. I will now await any further questioning pertaining, Before handing over the floor to you, Madam Chair Lady, I would like to request your indulgence to allow 2 of the videos that I spoke about in the presentation to be played now on the screen so that the members of Parliament can also see directly what the ministry has been busy with. Thank you.
Minister, in fact, I have an amendment to your suggestion, and that would be that we're going to pause just for a few minutes at this time, and then before we go over to the second round of the MPs asking questions, you would put the videos up on the screen. Okay, so with that, members of Parliament, I'm going to adjourn this meeting for 5 minutes. Meeting adjourned. Members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We just had a brief adjournment from the meeting with the Minister of Public Health, Social Development and Labour, who has been answering the questions regarding mental health care on St. Martin. In the context thereof, and before we go over to the second round of questions and then answers by the Minister is going to show on screen some of the, at least two of the videos, the short videos I have understood that regard mental health on St. Martin, and that the Minister had indicated to Parliament before that these were being worked on. Today, I'm understanding from the Minister that we have the product of this work, and I have therefore allowed him to show them here on the screen of Parliament, because it relates, or they relate, to something that the Minister had indicated to Parliament that were coming. And thus, Minister, the opportunity for you to present via our technical staff the videos. And I think we are actually ready to go. You good, Minister?
Yes, I am.
So you do the thing?
Yeah.
Oh, she
Say yeah.
I tell you, don't stress it, man. You like hot sauce. I guess I won't like it.
Yeah.
Just be yourself. Okay? So we'll link up tomorrow.
Alright, for sure.
Alright. You alright? Is it your son? Hey, I don't think she heard you watching, baby. What happened to you? You good? You know what? Let's talk about it. You ever look around and feel like everyone's fine, but you're not? Or maybe one of your friends has gone kind of quiet lately. Not really talking, not really laughing, just there. Sometimes we don't need someone to fix us. We just need someone to notice. So ask the question, you good? It's simple, but it might be the most important thing you say to someone today. And if it's you who needs to hear it, this is me asking, you good? Don't keep it inside. Talk to someone. You're not alone. What you say?
Everything been good?
You think so?
Everything been good, man.
Listen, I just actually put up for you.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, me and the boys were just playing football there. Earlier.
Right. So everything good otherwise? You good?
Everything been good, you know. Ever since our last conversation we had, I've been doing better. I feel better.
Nice, man. But what the girls have said?
I mean, the girls aren't there, but you know, I've been focused on my schoolwork and things like that. Yeah, just
Look at you. Yeah. As you should. Yeah. What's that?
What?
That.
It's just a vape.
What you doing with a vape?
Well, after school today, you know, my friends was passing it around and they just said it was nothing to worry about and it was just flavored air and stuff. So, I ain't take it then, but when I went in the shop today, I saw it and I just decided to buy one.
And they ask you your age?
Nope.
You know what I don't understand? If you said no the first time, what made you buy one after?
I mean, I didn't want to seem lame and everybody was teasing me and everybody was doing it, so I didn't want to feel left out.
I hear you. But saying no doesn't make you lame. It actually makes you smart. And what I forget to tell you about that vape is, one pod contains about 20 cigarettes worth of nicotine. Not only that, but it also messes with your focus, your mood, and your sleep. And it's very addictive.
For real? So, this not just like flavored air or something?
Nope. See? That's exactly how they just catch you.
Thank God we had this conversation, because I ain't risking my health to fit in for nobody.
If someone pressures you to vape, just walk away or say no. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Just say nah, I good, and keep it pushing. You call the shots, real friends respect your choices.
As a community, yeah, we gotta look out for the signs. That's a fact. It's just a question of day. Yep. And this is all you gotta say. You good?
If you ever need somebody to talk to,
You good?
here to support you as a friend.
You good?
Yes, I can.
Thank you, Minister, for those videos, for the presentation of those videos. We thank you for doing that here in Parliament. I can inform you that it is Parliament's intention to use the time before a meeting or during a meeting to show videos that relate to topics of importance for the people of St. Martin, informative videos especially, and that I will look with your ministry at getting those, and at the appropriate time, they too can be shown here on the screen of Parliament, also during other meetings where we have a break or something of that nature. But it is something, it's a plan we're working on, and if necessary, as I said, I'll be in touch with your ministry on these two that you have shown there and others regarding, especially again, health. So thank you, Minister, once again. And we're members of Parliament, we go over to the second round. And of course, the second round, the speakers in the second round go according to the speakers list for this meeting. And according to that list, we have the first speaker up, who would be MP Shamira Roseberg. MP Roseberg, you have the floor for the second round, and this meeting being a regular meeting, the second round, the time allotted for the second round is 10 minutes per member of Parliament. Member of Parliament Roseberg, you have the floor. I see no, at this time, okay, thank you.
This was a clarification.
Yeah, I think let me explain that, because I think it was a question by other MPs as well. The questions that were answered by the minister were actually in response to the clarifications request. So we're starting the second round at this time with the first person on the speakers list being MP Roseberg. MP Roseberg, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair Lady. Blessed afternoon to the Minister of ASI and his support staff, to my honorable colleagues present here today, and also the one person in the Tribune, but welcome, and to the public listening and viewing online, and also to the Secretary General, of course. Thank you for the answers and clarification, Minister. Also, thank you for showing the videos. I do believe it's very important to bring awareness to the youth, and I would like to know furthermore how this project will further develop itself, if you can answer that through you, Madam Chair. Other than that, I also would like to get an update in regards to the krankzinnige landsverordening. The motion was passed in having that for the lawyers, to making sure that once being admitted, there will be also legal assistance. So if the ministry can provide an update in regards to where we stand with that. Other than that, I also can remember that I brought the suggestion, seeing how we have the legal help desk and providing legal advice to the public, and also having different legal professionals contributing their time to the community for the ones that cannot afford a lawyer. If it has been looked into already, or if in the near future it will be looked into, that the same will be done for mental health related matters, because we have seen in the video a simple question, and our colleagues have asked each other as well, "You good?" But sometimes people would also like to have a little conversation, and that you can ask that person, "Are you good?" And if not, what is needed? So to look into if there are psychiatrists or psychologists willing to contribute their time and to do that in the same way how it has been done, for example, for the legal help desk. Other than that, if there will also be several seminars organized, same how has been done through the legal help desk, informing the community about legal matters, labor law. We have seen immigration law. I would like to know how that has been developing, if there will be other topics at hand that can assist the community, and then in connection to that same way in regards to mental health. I have seen that there were some lectures, but I would like to know what further will take place to keep that momentum going, and also to avoid the taboo of speaking about mental health, because often you hear, if you speak about your emotions, what's wrong with you, or even asking the question, "You good?" Like, of course I'm good, but are you actually good? You know, to go deeper into that topic. Those are my questions for now, and I would like to congratulate the minister and continuing doing the work for the people. Thank you.
Thank you, MP Roseberg. The next MP on the speakers list is MP Lewis. MP Lewis, you have the floor.
Good afternoon again to the people of St. Martin and those that are here in the Tribune, our Honorable Chair, my colleagues, and support staff of the Minister, including the Minister. Minister, I don't want to take much time out of your busy schedule today, so I just have one question. In recent events, I think you mentioned something in the press briefing, I stand corrected, or in the press in general, pertaining to SZV have paid, I think, about 15 million XYZ on undocumented workers with medical expenses, if I'm not mistaken. Is it not that a requirement for one to be registered at SZV, they are supposed to be documented? Number one, I just would like clarity on that. Also, number two, how is it possible that so much money was spent on undocumented workers, for example? I know everybody have the rights. Isn't there any proper inspections? Doesn't the business have to register those individuals at SZV? Are they not paying their taxes? That is my questions for now, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, MP Lewis. I just want to remind you, MP Lewis, that if the minister cannot answer those questions, they are somewhat off topic and on the matter at hand. So just, if he can't answer them now, but I'm sure the minister would take note, and when he can, if he can, will respond. But I just want to inform you that it's, off the topic of mental health care. The next speaker on the list would be MP Irian, who is not present. I then have the next member, and the next member would be MP Labega. MP Labega, you have the floor. There's no need at this time from MP Labega. Then we would have had MP York. MP York is not here right at this moment. We would have had then MP Waver. MP Waver is not here. And then we would have MP Jansen-Webster. MP Jansen-Webster, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good afternoon to my colleagues. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Minister of VSI, his support staff. Welcome to people listening and the person in the Tribune. Minister, through you, Madam Chair, I had a question about the draft mental health strategic plan, which you indicated that will be ready in 2 weeks to be sent to the stakeholders, and then it will be sent for approval. And I was wondering, where will it be sent for approval? And also then, what is the timeline that the Parliament can get to see the strategic plan for mental health? So a concrete timeline, when will Parliament then receive it according to your planning right now? And I would like to commend the Minister on the videos that were prepared. I think it's very necessary. It targets the youth. However, when I heard the question asked by the colleague MP about youth mental health, I thought that I would hear something more about what is actually being done for youth mental health, because as we know now, people under 18 years cannot enter into the mental health facility. So what is being done particularly with the youth? If people are under the age of 18, where do they go for mental health services? That's the question I would like to hear answered. Thank you.
Thank you, MP Janssen-Webster, and I see that we have MP Ottley wishing to make use of the interruption lectern. MP Ottley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I'm a bit baffled because when I hear my colleague, MP Janssen, refer to the minister's answer pertaining to the master plan. And during the budget debate, it was a back and forth between the minister and the prime minister with the master plan. And then 2 weeks later, I see the minister and the prime minister in the newspaper moving forward. So was a master plan then received? And as it pertains to mental health, indeed, I'd like to interrupt and say that is the direction I was going when I asked about youth mental health. While I commend the minister, it was a very nice video, but the answer that the minister gave for the question through you, Madam Chair, was, I will answer the question by these 2 videos. The video doesn't answer anything to me. So what is the plan for youth mental health?
Thank you, MP Ottley, for that interruption based on the discussion that was taking place also by our colleague, MP Janssen-Webster. And Minister, the MP Janssen-Webster is the last speaker. So I would want to know from you. There are a few questions that have been asked, and when are you able to answer those questions? And I would have recommended to you that you also take along the interruption, which also pertains partly a question to you for clarification, for the lack of a better word. And so, Minister, when can you address all of the matters raised in the second round? Minister?
Okay. Madam Chair Lady, I would just need... Thank you very much, Madam Chair Lady. I would just need 45 minutes just to caucus, and then after come back with the answers to all the questions posed thus far, including the remarks made for the interruptions as well.
Thank you, Minister, and I responded before you even finished your sentence with sure, because I appreciate the fact that you would be able to come back and respond to the members of Parliament today in the next 45 minutes. That would take us to give or take, I would want to say, let's say 4:15, a little more than 45 minutes, but nevertheless, we will return here at 4:15 with the answers to the questions as well as the interruption/observation made by MP Ottley, so that you can address that matter as well. Members of Parliament, Ministers, support staff of both organizations, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to adjourn this meeting until 4:15, 4:15. Meeting adjourned.
5-8.
Members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. At about this time, in fact at 4:15, we should have resumed this meeting, during which time the Minister is preparing the answers for the members of Parliament. However, the Minister has requested a little more time, so we're now looking at, the Minister said, 20 more minutes. That will take us, I would want to put it at 4:45, giving the Minister of VSA a little more time than he actually requested. So this meeting will continue at 4:45. Thank you for your indulgence and sorry for the inconvenience. Meeting adjourned until 4:45. Members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the continuation of this public meeting of Parliament. We had an adjournment. The Minister prepared the answers to the questions of members of Parliament and is prepared to present those now. So I invite the Minister Richnel Brugge, to take the floor with the answers to the members of Parliament. Minister, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair Lady. Blessed afternoon to those tuning in. I will dive directly into the response to the questions posed by the honourable members of Parliament. I'll begin first with the honourable member of Parliament, Ms. Roseberg. Question 1, how will the video project further develop? Response, in the third quarter, a new video will be released focusing on bullying, the internet, suicide thoughts, and also aimed at teenage girls. After that, we will have another one for the end of the year. Question 2, KZ motion update required. The Ministry of VSI has complied with all the requirements to allow the motion to proceed. The next step is currently being carried out by the Minister of Justice. Question 3, looking into the legal help desks regarding mental health related matters. Is it possible for a psychologist or a psychiatrist to provide service there free of charge, if they are willing to do so? Response, as it relates to free psychological sessions, the ministry is busy looking into this matter. What we can share with MP Roseberg is that currently Mental Health Foundation is providing counseling sessions at various community help desks. Furthermore, group mental health sessions are already being organized at some of the VSI help desks. Question 4, which upcoming lectures are scheduled at the help desk? And is it possible to include mental health topics? As mentioned during the original meeting, the next meeting we are organizing will cover labor law and will be provided in Spanish. However, we can also start incorporating mental health topics. With regard to the question posed by the honourable member of Parliament, Mr. Lewis, Madam Chair Lady, please allow me to provide the MP clarity in writing. Okay. Next, question posed by the honourable member of Parliament, Jansen Webster. Question 1, mental health strategic plan. Where will it be sent for approval? When will Parliament receive it then? The final draft will be submitted to me for approval. Following the approval, the plan will be disseminated to Parliament for their information. The intention is to have it finalized by October. Question 2, youth mental health. What is being done for persons that are not being able to enter into the mental health facility? Madam Chair Lady, through you, the response. There is no strict age limit for admission to Mental Health Foundation. However, admission of minors is generally avoided. In such cases, the focus is placed on providing ambulatory care and creating a safe environment outside of the institution. Admission for minors may be considered only in exceptional circumstances, although this has not been necessary in recent years. Points of interruption presented by MP Ottley. First, master plan. Has it been received? Madam Chair Lady, in my understanding, MP Johnson was referring to the mental health strategic plan and not the master schedule. However, as indicated in my clarification round, we are in possession of the master schedule. Point of interruption number 2. MP Ottley asks if the 2 videos are the solution of the minister to the youth mental health problems. Madam Chair Lady, through you, response. The videos highlight aims to raise awareness about youth mental health and to empower young people to openly share and discuss their emotions with others. Madam Chair Lady, the matter of youth mental health is being addressed by the ministry in multiple ways. At least half of the projects listed this afternoon carried out by the ministry since my tenure began are specifically geared towards youth. In addition, all the projects mentioned in the previous round on mental health also touches on youth. For example, when a parent or a family member is in a better mental state, the child benefits as well. Additionally, the strategic plan will review and incorporate mental health in all policies, including youth mental health. Based on research conducted by my cabinet and me prior to taking office, particularly discussions with parents, young people, school management teams, and therapists, the message was clear. The traditional approach to address youth mental health was not working. The request was to engage with young people on their level. This is why we partnered with various foundations that organize mental health projects specifically for youth.
Minister, if I could ask your indulgence as I allow MP Ottley to make an interruption at this time. MP Ottley.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, again, when we use this lectern, it's nothing personal or anything of the sort. I'm hearing a lot of fluff and a lot of back and forth. I just need to know from the minister, clear, what is, through you, Madam Chair, what is the minister clearly doing for youth mental health? I need an example. I don't want to hear the stuff that we did before would trickle to the youth. Specifically, if what was being done before was not working, what is the minister doing now specifically to target youth mental health? I have not heard that. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Ottley. Minister, you may continue, and at some point, if you can address the matter raised by the MP during interruption, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Minister.
The request was to engage with young people on their level. This is why we partnered with various foundations that organize mental health projects specifically for youths. We also initiated mental health campaigns in collaboration with local artist King James. Currently, as indicated, as played here in Parliament, 2 videos have been created and launched. With the start of the new school year, these videos will be shared with all school boards along with a request that they be shown and discussed with students. Additionally, the ministry plans to launch these videos in the media and cinema. Aim to kickstart these initiatives in the 3rd or 4th quarter. It depends how fast government process is executed. But our intention is actually to have it done in the 3rd. However, due to the lengthy process of government, it might just end up in the 4th quarter of this year. Furthermore, a song is also created by King James and that is scheduled to be released during the 1st week of September. Madam Chair Lady, with regard to the point raised by the Honourable Member of Parliament, again, as I stated, most of the projects, I stated the projects, and I can list them out again, because it was a question that was posed by MP York, but also MP Duran, MP Ottley. Give me 1 second. With your indulgence, Madam Chair Lady, allow me to repeat the answer to that particular question, that perhaps MP Ottley wasn't present and therefore did not hear the answer to that particular question. There were 17 projects alluded to in my presentation, and these are: 1, Men's Circle VSR-led initiative, December 24. Mental Health Psychological Assessment Quick Scan, December 24. 3, Personnel and Organization Quick Scan, December 24. 4, Suicide Prevention Session in collaboration with Victorious Living Foundation, Dr. Cotton, January 2025. Partnership with Men's Mental Health Awareness Foundation, February 2025. 6, Mental Health Songboard Session, Trimbus on Mental Health, February 2025. 7, Autism Awareness Symposium, organized by the Spectrum Support Box, April 2025. VSR Sports Day, February 2025. Mental Health Sessions for Management Team, January and April 2025. 10, VSR COVID-19 Appreciation Day, March 2025. Creating a VSR recovery/lounge area ongoing project. 12, Immediate Psychological Support for VSR staff, April 2025. Online workshop entitled Parenting Through Challenges in Mental Health and Raising Children with Disabilities in collaboration with the Spectrum Support Box, May 2025. 14, workshop entitled When to Ring the Bell, Supporting Youth Mental Health, May 2025. 15, interscholastic spoken words competition organized by Mental Health Awareness Foundation, May 2025. 16, informative mental health videos, focus group youths, ongoing projects. 17, new songboard session with Trimbus on mental health coming August, September. Madam Chair Lady, as I stated earlier in the project, most of the projects that I've listed from the 17 are youth-related, and even the ones that are not youth-related address adults. And again, as I stated just now, if adults are in a better frame of mind, it means that the children also, they will be in a better environment for them to deal with the children. So all the projects that I've listed, whether it's direct or indirect towards youth, will address the youth issues when it comes to mental health. I hope that the answers of these questions were clear and that the members of Parliament are satisfied with the answers. And I will now await any further clarification.
Thank you, Minister. I see at this time MP Roseberg would like to make the use of the interruption lectern, and I give the floor, therefore, to MP Roseberg.
Thank you, Chair Lady. Just to bring some awareness in regards to what was brought forward with it's okay not to be okay, and in regards to the plan in place, because I have seen that different projects were mentioned by the minister and also the different videos that were mentioned by the minister. Is it the idea that that information will be gathered, and then once it's gathered, it will be a logbook will be kept to be aware, okay, what is currently going on with the youth, so that the different areas within the community, that it can be, a logbook can be kept, okay, in these areas we know those are the current mental health related issues, so that also the parents, the schools, the other departments are aware of what the youth is going through. So I would like to know if that's the idea behind the different projects that were mentioned and how it will be stored, if that can be answered, please. Thank you.
Thank you, MP Roseberg. I just wish to clarify for a moment, because we might be wondering in terms of clarifications and in terms of usage of the interruption lectern and how that compares to the possibility for clarifications following the answers by a minister. The intention and why it is mentioned when the procedures for interruptions are explained and the word clarification is also used, the intention behind that, as it is different from the regular round of clarifications, is if the minister says something that at that very moment, I don't want to say does not make sense, but in a way you really don't understand, you can ask quickly via the interruption lectern. But it's not that you kind of preempt the clarification round by the interruption. Just because when I give the procedures for interruption, I would mention that a possibility to ask a clarification is there, but it has to be short, it has to be at the moment. That's why it's called interruption. And again, you can make assertions, you can tell the minister, but minister, you've said this, but this is the way I see it, or you can give information. So I just wanted to make that difference between the interruption part and on the other hand, because now we're going to go over to clarifications in which statements by the ministers, answers given by the ministers can be asked to be clarified. So thank you, Minister. So what I'll do, I'll ask you if you can, because it was a question to be answered actually by MP Roseberg. So I'll ask you, as I give the members the possibility for clarifications, if necessary, that you also address that interruption. So members, we are now at the point of clarifications in the second round, so to the answers given in the second round. I see we have MP Ottley would like to make or ask for a clarification. MP Ottley, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, my clarification will be rather short because after the minister's long-winded speech and listing off the projects, it still didn't answer any of the questions, and the interruption/clarification from MP Roseberg is exactly where I was about to head, because after all of that long-winded speech, it was a bunch of nothing. At the end of the day, I am only alluding, Madam Chair, to what was said by the minister when answering my question was that I'm going to play 2 videos. And even in the explanation, the minister alluded, correct me if I'm wrong, to the videos being shared with the school and a song being created. Minister, for clarification, or however, you can choose to answer it or not. Through you, Madam Chair, I need what is the next step for youth mental health in St. Martin, not the projects. My question was based on the steps. We intend to have XYZ psychiatrists, XYZ sessions, deal with vulnerable groups from 10 to 12, and do this and that within the schools. Let me help point you in the right direction to avoid previous more back and forth. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Ottley, for that request for clarification from the minister. The next member wishing to make use of the clarification round is MP Doran. MP Doran, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady. Madam Chair, I have 2 points of clarification. One was actually from the previous answers provided by the minister. I'll start with the point where the minister mentioned that the Trembos organization followed the applicable tenders, but I didn't hear which one was used, because I know we have a compatibiliteitslandsverordening, which clearly defines the realms in which spending, government public spending is handled. Above the 50,000 guilders, this is required. and the mandat register and all of that, and the minister mentioned a price tag of over 2 million. So through you, Madam Chair, to the minister, can we get a clear explanation as to which procedure was followed if a public tender did not take place? And also, I think it's based on Article 47 of that same Lansford Ordinance. If something does not go through a public tender, it has to then get a lance besleuid, and you have to ask for deviation and all those things. So I would like some clarity on that point, because we're talking about a large sum of money. My second point of clarification, Madam Chair, through you to the minister, is the fact that we know that a lot of, on the mental health point now, a lot of cancer patients, once they are diagnosed, I would like to know through you to the minister, is there currently any support system via the St. Martin Medical Center or the Mental Health Foundation to assist persons once they get certain diagnoses? Because, you know, sometimes your mind and thinking about these things can make you even more sick, and if you don't have that support, I think that that is something that we really need to look into based on different experiences that I've been hearing in the community. So the question is, to be clear, does it exist? If not, is it in your planning? Can it be incorporated in your planning to introduce a sort of a support system for cancer patients, among others, in terms of support once they are given certain diagnoses? Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and I hope that I was clear.
Thank you, MP Duran, for that clarification question. The next MP to make use of this opportunity is MP Veronica Janssen. MP Janssen, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My clarification has to do with the answer on youth mental health, where the minister indicated that there's no strict age limit, and also that there haven't been not many cases recently with people younger than 18 years. And I tend to remember us visiting the Mental Health Foundation, and the Mental Health Foundation, the doctor there indicated to us that that was an issue because there seems to be a gap in legislation, and we are here in Parliament to help with that. So that's why I want the minister to find out what is it so that there is a little gap in the age limit, in the legislation, so that we can do something about it. And because this is based on when we as Parliament went to visit the Mental Health Foundation, what they told us. Another thing that they told us there was because of this age limit, you have families sometimes that have to be split up, where you want to help the mother, but she has a baby, and then she cannot come in with her baby. And even if there is a facility, the child is not allowed because of the age. So that is where my question was going, and to see what we can do as Parliament so we can help with the legislation to make that not an issue. So I want the minister to look into that further. Thank you.
Thank you, MP Janssen. So you're actually asking the minister to clarify whether that is, yes. Okay, so that's your question for clarity is clear. So I don't see any other member of Parliament needing a clarification. Minister, you need a few minutes maybe to address the questions, the clarification questions.
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you very much. Allow me perhaps maybe 15, 20 minutes to answer the questions, the clarification questions.
Okay, 15 minutes it shall be, and that will then be at 25 to 6, so 35 minutes past the hour of 5, giving you 15 to the 5:20 that it is right now. So, yeah, let's say 25 minutes to 6. I will adjourn the meeting until then so that we can close off this topic with the answers to the clarification questions by the members of Parliament. This meeting will be adjourned until 25 minutes to 6, so 5:35. Meeting adjourned.
You too.
Members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, a good evening and welcome back as we're now in the final round and answering by the Minister of VSA to questions and requests for clarifications as posed by members of Parliament. I now give the floor to Minister Richnel Brugge, Minister of VSA, to respond to the few remaining clarifications that have been asked by members of Parliament. Minister, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady. Good afternoon for those just tuning in. With regard to the clarification question posed by MP Roseberg, the answer is the Trimbos is there for data collection. Based on the data, St. Martin will have a good overview of what is really essential and can anticipate on that. So I hope that is clear enough for the MP. The question also to MP Ottley that also stated that the MP Roseberg also had similar, was going in exactly the same direction. MP Ottley, thank you very much for clarifying your question, your interruption, because when you posed the question, I interpreted it one way, and that's why I gave you those answers. But after you explained clearly what exactly you meant, then I can address it better now. So thank you very much for clarifying that in your last statements and your clarification. The information that you are requesting is exactly what will be addressed in the draft National Mental Health Strategic Plan that will be provided to Parliament end of October. Next, to the clarification posed by MP Duran. Question 1. Trimbos organization followed the Trimbos organization followed the applicable tenders? Which ones were used? If a public tender did not take place, Madam Chair Lady, through you, MP Duran, Trimbos was hired not by the government of St. Martin, but through NRPB. And they have their own procurement procedures. Question 2. Cancer patients. Is there any support system for persons being diagnosed with these kind of condition? If it does not exist, can it be part of your plans? Madam Chair Lady, through you, persons diagnosed with chronic or terminal illness can receive psychological support. The process provided upon referral, this is provided upon referral by the treating physician. So it's something that's already existed. With regard to clarification raised by MP Janssen Webster, youth mental health, not many cases with youth. Is there a gap in the legislation with the age limit? Madam Chair Lady, through you, MP Janssen Webster, my initial answer, I want to make it clear that it was provided by a representative of the Mental Health Foundation. After your explanation in the clarification round, we understood better what exactly you meant by your question. I understand your concern and the specific special case you are referring to. Those situations need to be looked into further. Additionally, the updated KZ law currently being worked on by the ministry will address the issues regarding age limitation. Madam Chair Lady, those were all the clarifications, those were all the answers to the clarifications. I hope that it was clear, and if it is not, please let me know what has to be more clarified. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister, for providing those answers to the remaining clarifications that members of Parliament required. Of course, in this public meeting, there's no further opportunity for further questioning But of course, members of parliament are aware of whatever other route they can follow, including approaching you and your ministry if the need is there to have something said or answered, clarified, in addition to the formal route of asking questions to the minister. So with that, Minister, your support staff, members of parliament, our support staff, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this public meeting. I want to thank the minister and his support staff for being here in Parliament and responding to questions by members of Parliament. And of course, I appreciate all members of Parliament who are here with us today, have been and are here with us today. With that, this meeting of Parliament is hereby closed. Meeting closed.